Now next up, with all that we have learned today, we are eligible to build some projects by TS. So in the next module, in the next section, we are going to be building some projects, some very simple projects to kind of understand the flow of programming and everything. So stay tuned. Now in this module, I'm going to take you through some basic operations in Python. Now by basic operations, I just mean some mathematical operations, because we'll be required to use mathematics a lot as we go through our coding journey. So first of all, we are going to look at addition. Now addition stays the same even in programming. We just have to wrap it around in some good syntax. Same for subtraction, same for multiplication, and even division. And for division, we have a little variety over here. We'll get to that in a minute. And finally, exponentiation over here. So, to perform addition in Python, we simply have to write out what you want to add. So in Python, plus does the same thing mathematically. So mathematically, this we know that this is going to evaluate to 5. Now we can do some subtraction. So for subtraction, let's say 5 minus 2. Then we can do some multiplication. And for that, let's say 3 star 4. Yes. So as you will realize, things are looking a little bit different. Now in Python and in programming languages as such, for multiplication, we're usually going to use the asterisk. That's how we represent multiplication in Python. Now for division, yes. So the first type of division that we are going to find is float division. So for float division, this is how we are going to represent it. So we just do the division by our forward slash. We just do the division by our forward slash. And at this point, I think we should start printing some results. Again, print helps you to get your output. So I'm going to run this. Yes, now this is float division. Now, right in the previous lesson, I showed you that this particular data type deals with decimals. Hence, also float division. We are going to be returning a lot of decimals. Now, let's look at integer division. I'm going to remove the print line over here. And now let's print this. Let's get our output. So I'm going to run this again. Now you can see for this, we just returned 1, right? Yes, now I'm going to explain this. You know what, to help me explain it better, let me just print the same thing up here using our float division. And now let me run it again. Yes. Now by running this, you can see that the first one, our float division, returned the recurring decimals. See? Because 4/3 is a recurring fraction, right? Yes. Now with our integer division, we are basically stripping away all this part. And the only thing we care about is this our 1. So we want nothing to do with our decimals for integer division. Now finally, we have modulo division. Now for modulo division, the sign that we use to represent this is a percentage. You see, now our percent symbol is going to help us to perform modulo operations. Let me zoom this back. All right. Now for modulo, what you are looking for is a remainder, right? Yes. Now let me print the output 2 and then explain that. So we run. Yes. Now this output is also 1 for modulo, but for a different reason. You know that we can find 4 in 9 just 2 times, right? And after finding that 4 2 times, we have a remainder of 1. There will be a remainder of 1 after we find 4 in 9 2 times. So 9 divided by 4, again, let's go for integer division. Let's do 9 divided by 4. You see, so we can confirm that for our integer division, 4 is making it into 9 just 2 times. And 4 plus 4, that's twice of 4 is 8. Now what's happening to that other one? That's what our modulo is going to fetch for us. See, so we modulo, that's the value we are concerned about, the remainders. And finally, let's talk about exponentiation. Now, exponentiation is very simple. So let's say 2 raised to the power 3, right? Yes. And now we are going to print this out. And once we print this, yes, now I'm going to print the output. and we have 8. Yes. So also in programming, this is how we represent an exponent. We use 2 asterisks. And again, be mindful of your white space. If you space them out, it's not going to work. Yes. So those are basic operations in Python. Yes. I didn't print these because I think they are self-explanatory. Yes. So this returns 12. This will give us 3, and this will give us 5. And in fact, this is an exercise to you taking this course. Try to print them out and confirm for yourself, as it will also be good practice. Now, next up, with all that we have learned today, we are eligible to build some projects for ITS. So in the next module, in the next section, we are going to be building some projects, some very simple projects to kind of understand the flow of programming and everything. So stay tuned.